Hi, I'm Nate, 32, and 6 weeks ago, my girlfriend dumped me over the phone, while I was still in the parking garage of the job I just lost. She called me an unemployed loser, and hung up before I could say I had a $200K severance package and a better job lined up. 6 weeks later, she saw my new Tesla and texted, "I believe in second chances." My reply? It was the verbal equivalent of a nuclear winter. I got the call at 10:02 a.m. on a Thursday. "The director wants to see you." Never good. I walked into the conference room and saw HR waiting like the angel of corporate death. "We're restructuring," they said. "Your position is being eliminated. Today's your last day. 8 years with the company. Gone before lunch." But I wasn't shocked. I'd seen the warning signs: contract losses, budget freezes, my manager quietly exiting 2 months ago like he knew the ship was sinking. I'd already been interviewing. In fact, I had a verbal offer from a competitor, 35% salary bump, better title, and way better benefits. Just waiting for the formal offer letter. Then they handed me the severance package. 4 months' pay. PTO payout. 6 months of COBRA. After taxes, it came to just over $200K. I walked out of the building carrying a cardboard box and a smile that was 10% panic and 90% liberation. First person I called was my girlfriend of 18 months. We'd been talking about moving in. I thought she'd understand. "Hey," I said. "Got laid off this morning." Long silence. Then, "Are you serious right now?" "Yeah. It's okay though, I can't do this." She cut me off. "Do what?" "Be with someone who doesn't have their life together." I laughed. "Babe, it's a layoff. I've got savings. I've got a new offer. Calm." "Stop," she said, and her voice turned to ice. "I need someone established. Not an unemployed loser." That word hit like a slap. "You're breaking up with me? Over this?" "I've been thinking about it anyway," she said. "Good luck with everything." Click. I sat in the parking garage for 10 full minutes, holding the phone like it had betrayed me. I wasn't sad. Just stunned. 18 months. And 3 minutes later, I was suddenly single because of a job title. Didn't matter that I had plans, a future, a severance the size of some people's salaries. What mattered to her was that I didn't look secure on paper for exactly 6 hours. I drove home. Cracked a beer. Opened my laptop. And there it was, the offer letter. Salary 40% higher than my old one. I called my buddy from college. He works in finance. "Help me be smart with this money," I said. 2 hours later, I had a plan. Paid off my car. Cleared my credit cards. Tossed a chunk into a high-yield savings account and another into investments. I'd never felt so weirdly peaceful. A week into unemployment, I was sleeping better than I had in years. Then the text started. "Hey, just checking on you. She's telling people you're broke. Everyone knows what really happened." Except they didn't. And I wasn't about to explain. 3 weeks after the breakup, her cousin texted me out of nowhere. "Dude, that was a raw deal. My cousin can be intense about money stuff." "Noted," I replied. "Not my problem anymore." And it wasn't. I spent those 6 weeks like a man in recovery. I slept in, went on long morning runs, and read books I'd put off for years. I even interviewed with 2 other companies just to test the market. Both offered more than the job I'd already accepted. By week 5, I pulled the trigger on a certified pre-owned Tesla Model 3. Paid for it outright, $52K, clean and sharp. I'd always wanted one, but I waited until it wouldn't dent my savings or my pride. That Saturday, I picked it up, drove around the city just because I could, stopped at a coffee shop I used to go to when I lived with my ex. And guess who was there? She was sitting at an outdoor table with her sister, sipping something overpriced with oat milk, when she saw the car. I watched her do a full-on double take. Her sister spotted me too and muttered something I didn't catch. I got out of the Tesla. Cool, unbothered. "Nice car," she called, forcing a little laugh. "Thanks," I said. No heat. No spark. Just air between us. "Wait, can we talk for a second?" she said, standing up. I paused. "Make it quick." She walked over, trying to look casual. "I didn't know you were doing so well." "Yeah," I nodded. "New job starts Monday." Senior director role. Her smile flickered like a cheap candle. That's incredible. I'm happy for you. Then she reached out, touched my arm. I've been thinking about you. About us. I believe in second chances. I looked at her hand, then at her face. I don't. What? Her voice cracked just a little. I don't believe in second chances for people who abandoned me the second things got hard. You showed me who you were. I believe you. She blinked. Her sister pretended to be hypnotized by her phone. You're being cruel, she said, pulling her hand back. No, I said. I'm being honest. You didn't want me. You wanted a paycheck. I got in my car. Shut the door. And as I pulled away, I watched her in the rearview mirror, still standing there, speechless. Felt like therapy. The following Monday, I walked into my new job like I'd been there for years. Corner office, glass walls, actual espresso machine in the break room. My team? Smart, respectful, collaborative. No drama. No ego contests. Just grown adults doing good work. But that night at 11:12 p.m., she texted me from a new number. Unknown. Still thinking about what you said. You're right. I screwed up. Can we talk? I didn't reply. Tuesday night? Another message. Unknown. I know I hurt you. I was wrong. I miss you. I miss us. Still nothing from me. By Wednesday it got bitter. Unknown. You're really going to ignore me? That's mature. Oh, now she cared about maturity. Thursday, she called 3 times in a row, left a voicemail saying she was at the restaurant where we had our first date. I thought maybe you'd want to stop by, for old time's sake. Who does that? Friday, I had a work happy hour. First one with the new team. I was 2 sips into my drink when she walked in. I didn't invite her. She just showed up. With her girlfriends. She beelined to me like we were still together. Hey, she said too brightly. You didn't tell me you'd be here. I blinked. Why would I? She laughed like I'd just forgotten to bring eggs from the store. Right. Of course. I just thought, maybe we could talk. My new colleagues watched silently. One raised an eyebrow. You're not going to introduce me? She asked. I turned to the group. This is my ex. We broke up. She's just leaving. Her face went white. Then red. Then flushed with panic. You're being ridiculous, she hissed. Can we talk outside? Nope, I said, turning away. Fine, she snapped. Be childish. And stormed off like someone had just spoiled her birthday brunch. One of my coworkers leaned over and whispered. That was awkward. Yeah, I said. She dumped me when I got laid off. Now she wants me back. He gave a low whistle. Classic. My ex did the same thing when I got promoted. Some people only want you when you're valuable. I smiled. Exactly. That weekend? 23 texts. My favorite said. Withholding closure is emotional abuse. You dumped me because I got laid off. Now I owed her closure? I blocked her number. By Sunday, her sister texted me. She's going through stuff right now. She really cared about you. I replied. She had 18 months to care. She chose not to. Tell her to move on. Then Monday, HR called me into their office. Yup. She filed a complaint. The HR director looked uncomfortable, which is never a good sign. We received a complaint, she said, folding her hands. Someone claiming to be your ex-girlfriend called in. She says you've been harassing her, showing up where she is, contacting her against her will. I didn't laugh. But I did blink like she just accused me of robbing a cathedral. She's been contacting me, I said. I haven't responded to anything in over a week. She showed up at my work event. I have the messages. The voicemails. The timestamps. You want the call log too? Yes, HR said, suddenly all business. Please. So I pulled out my phone and slid it across the table like it was evidence in a true crime case. I had everything. The texts, the missed calls, the voicemail from our old date spot, even the selfie she took at the bar with her friends before trying to crash our happy hour. The HR director scrolled through it, frowning deeper with every swipe. Okay, she finally said. Yeah. This is clearly not harassment on your part. I'll close the complaint and document everything just in case she contacts us again. Can I get that in writing? I asked. She nodded. Smart. Yes, I'll email you the summary. I left that meeting feeling like I just avoided stepping on a landmine. But also, kind of stunned. She was trying to mess with my new job, the one I got after she dumped me for not having a job. The audacity wasn't even offensive anymore. It was boring. That evening I ran into her mom outside a Thai place near my apartment. I hadn't seen her since before the breakup. Oh, she said, startled. Hi, Nate. I nodded. Hi. She glanced away, then back. My daughter mentioned you two ran into each other. She mentioned the part where she's been stalking me and filed a fake complaint? Her lips tightened. She's upset. She feels like she made a mistake. She did, I said calmly. She dumped me over the phone and called me an unemployed loser. Now she's calling HR. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. She was scared. Her mom said, like that explained arson. She should date a bank account. I said, not a person. She didn't respond to that. I paid for my food, went home, poured a drink, and sat on the balcony watching the streetlights buzz. I wasn't even angry. I was done. She had made her choice, quick, cold, convenient. Now she didn't like the consequences. That wasn't my problem anymore. Then a text came in from another unknown number. I got a new number. Please don't block this one. I just need to talk to you. I stared at it for a long time. Then I typed. We are done. Permanently. You ended things when I needed support. Now that I don't need support, you want back in. That's not love. That's opportunism. Stop contacting me. Stop showing up where I am. Stop calling my job. Move on. I have. Then I blocked that number too. And for the first time in a long time, I felt lighter than air. I figured that would be the end of it. It wasn't. 3 days later, she showed up in my apartment building's parking lot. I spotted her car parked sideways, engine off, windows down. She wasn't texting. She wasn't even pretending to be doing anything. Just sitting there. First time? I ignored it. Second time? I took pictures. License plate, timestamp, location. Sent it to a folder labeled Insurance Against Crazy. Third time? I called the non-emergency police line. An officer came out, took my statement, walked over to her car. I watched from my kitchen window as they talked. 5 minutes later, he came back. She claims she's visiting a friend in the building. She doesn't know anyone here. I said flatly. We broke up months ago. He sighed. Can't do much unless she approaches or threatens you. But keep documenting. If she keeps showing up, we can escalate. Great. So I waited. 2 days later, she popped up at my lunch spot near the office. Coincidence? Sure, if you believe in unicorns and honest politicians. She was already inside when I walked in. Marched right up to me like we were scheduled for a romantic matinee. Please stop running away from me, she said. I'm not running, I replied. I just don't want to talk to you. We need closure. You got closure, I said. You dumped me and called me a loser. That's closure with a hard period. That's not closure, she hissed. That's you being vindictive. I ordered my food anyway. Sat at a table. She followed. Can you not? I asked. Just 5 minutes. Please. 5. No. I'll keep showing up until you listen, she said, dead serious. That's called stalking, I said. Not love. It's called fighting for someone you care about. No, it's called violating boundaries I've been very clear about. I grabbed my food and left. A week later it got worse. Poker night. Monthly thing. Me and 4 friends from college. We rotate apartments, drink too much, talk trash, burn through 3 bags of chips and pretend we understand poker strategy. This month, it was my place. We're halfway through the second hand. I'm holding a pocket pair, when... Knock, knock, knock. I freeze. I already know. My stomach knows. My spine knows. I look through the peephole. Her. With wine. I crack the door, leave the chain on. You need to leave, I said. Come on, she whispered. Let's just talk. I brought wine. You're not invited. You don't live here. You don't belong here. You used to talk about hosting poker night with me. I just wanted. We broke up. You ended it. You don't get to come back months later like you forgot your scarf. One of my friends came to the door, leaned in. He asked you to leave? He said. Time to go. She looked past me, saw all 4 guys watching. Her face crumpled. This is why we didn't work, she said. You never included me. You dumped me because I got laid off. Silence. Heavy. Is that really what happened? My friend asked. Yep. She left. But not before growling. We're not done talking about this. Yeah, we are. 2 days later, she walked into my office building. No appointment. No reason. Just strolled right up to the front desk and asked for me like we were meeting for lunch. Reception buzzed my line. You have a visitor, they said. She says she's your girlfriend. I nearly choked on my water. I corrected. Please ask her to leave. I don't want to see her. Understood. 5 minutes later, a text popped up from yet another new number. Really? You had security turn me away? I brought lunch. I was trying to do something nice. I forwarded the message to HR without a word. 20 minutes later, the same HR rep called. This is escalating, she said. I'm drafting a formal letter. She's now officially barred from entering the building. Any further contact regarding your employment will be considered harassment. Thank you, I said. Also, I think it's time I talked to a lawyer. Smart, she said. And Nate? I'm sorry you're dealing with this. You've handled it the right way. That night, I booked an appointment with a firm that specializes in protection orders. I showed the lawyer everything: texts, photos, the fake HR complaint, her random pop-ins, the wine bottle ambush. After 20 minutes, she said, You've got enough for a temporary restraining order. Maybe even a full one. What happens if the judge grants it? I asked. She can't contact you. Not in person, not digitally. She can't come within 500 feet of your home or work. If she does, you call the cops. She goes to jail. I nodded slowly. I didn't want to ruin her life. But she was trying to ruin mine. I filed the paperwork. Court date, next Tuesday. 3 days after that, her mom texted me. A restraining order? Really? My daughter made one mistake and you're treating her like a criminal? I didn't respond. But if I had, I would have said, no. She dumped me when I was at my lowest. Now that I'm doing better, she's harassing me. That's not a mistake. That's a pattern. The hearing was coming. And I was ready. Tuesday morning. Courthouse. 9 a.m. sharp. I showed up early. Folder in hand, clean shirt, calm breath. My friend Josh sat behind me in the back row, just in case I needed backup. He brought coffee. Said nothing. Just nodded once like, you got this. She arrived 3 minutes before the hearing. Tight dress. Forced tears. Her mom flanked her like she was walking into a funeral instead of a courtroom. Some guy in an off-brand suit stood beside them, probably her lawyer. Probably doing this pro bono because no sane person would bill for what was coming. The judge called our names. We stood. Her lawyer went first. Your Honor, this is not a case of harassment. It's a case of heartbreak. My client simply wishes for reconciliation and closure. She never intended distress, only communication. The judge raised a brow like she'd heard this 100 times. She had. Then it was my turn. I stood. Voice steady. Your Honor, I asked her repeatedly to stop contacting me. I have documentation of over 30 messages, voicemails, in-person appearances, uninvited visits to my workplace, even an HR complaint she falsely filed against me. I have never initiated a single contact since our breakup. The judge nodded. Documentation? I passed over the folder. Every screenshot. Every voicemail transcript. Every timestamped photo of her car parked outside my building. She read in silence. Stopped at the message that read, I'll keep showing up until you listen. She looked at my ex. Miss Green, did you send this? Yes, but... Did he ask you to stop? He didn't mean it, she said quickly. People say things in anger. We were in love. This isn't about love, the judge replied. This is about boundaries. The ruling came fast. Faster than I expected. I'm granting a 1-year restraining order, effective immediately. Miss Green, you are not to contact Mr. Carr in any form, text, email, phone, social media. You are not to approach him at home or work. Violation will result in arrest. Do you understand? I just wanted to talk, she whispered. You were told to stop, the judge said. This is what happens when people don't. Bang of the gavel. Done. Outside, her mom tried to approach me. Josh stepped forward. No, he said, simple and solid. They backed off. And that was it. After months of texts, ambushes, guilt trips, and desperate monologues about fighting for love, the chapter closed. I drove home in silence. The quiet didn't feel hollow. It felt earned. I ordered sushi that night. Opened a bottle of wine I'd been saving. Watched a documentary I'd been putting off. There were no messages. No calls. No surprise visits. Just peace. That weekend, I took someone new to dinner. Her name's Claire. Graphic designer. Fierce. Grounded. Beautiful in the kind of way that feels like a breath, not a warning. She didn't ask what I earned. Didn't blink when I mentioned the restraining order. Just said, "That sounds exhausting. Good for you for handling it." We talked for 3 hours. Laughed. Walked under streetlights like the night owed us nothing. When I got home, there was one final message from a block number. "You ruined what we could have had." I didn't reply. But if I had? "You ruined it the moment you called me an unemployed loser. The only thing I ruined was your ability to rewrite history." Deleted. Blocked. Peace restored. And this time, I wasn't proving anything. I was just living.